The Cleveland Cavaliers have never made an NBA Finals without LeBron James. In fact, they've only made the conference finals without him twice. But they made the playoffs without him last season for the first time in 25 years. They have a young, exciting core and are looking to move past the LeBron era and make a finals appearance of their own. They're led by an all-star backcourt in Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, who should look even better in their second year together. Then they have a top-tier big man duo as well with Mobley and Jarrett Allen. They took a big step forward last season, finishing 4th in the Eastern Conference and having home court advantage. They were the number 1 defense in the entire NBA based on points allowed in both the regular season and the playoffs. However, offense is where the shortcomings were. They had the 25th best offense in the regular season, and it got even more exposed in the playoffs, with the result being an embarrassing 5-game series loss to the Knicks. They only scored 94 points per game in that series, which in the modern NBA is insanely low. When you have 2 offensively limited big men as key pieces of your team, it makes things difficult, because the other 3 guys have to be excellent and efficient on that end of the floor. That's not a problem with Mitchell and Garland, but the Cavs' small forward spot was a problem all year, and it was a glaring weakness. They rotated between Caris LeVert, Okoro, and Cedi Osman, but couldn't find a guy who could consistently hit the open shot. However, they made fixing that spot their main priority this offseason, signing Max Strus away from the Miami Heat, signing Georges Niang, drafting high-upside youngster Emoni Bates, and re-signing Caris LeVert. A jump offensively from Mobley would really take the offense to the next level, but the upgrade at the 3 is a good start. Due to the team's age, most of the returning players will be better next season as well. The Cavs could make the finals as soon as this season. Now let's take a deeper look at why. Before we get into the Cavs' case as legitimate contenders, if you enjoy my content and watch a few videos of mine, think about subscribing. 91% of my viewers are actually not subscribed, so if you watched it before and enjoy the content, drop a sub and comment down below. It really helps the channel. After last year's disappointing playoff performance, many are writing off the Cavs in the Eastern Conference. However, this would be an overreaction. They were a top 3 seed in the East for a very large chunk of last season and had some really exciting games against Boston. They overperformed expectations last season, and I think that's fair to say. People thought they'd probably make the playoffs and be a good defense. But home court advantage and the best defense in the league, I don't think anyone outside of Cleveland expected them to be quite that good. They did underperform their season standard in the playoffs, but it was the group's first time there. They will be better this season and for multiple reasons. But the thing that will take the team to where they want to go is the players. So let's take a look at the impact guys for Cleveland. Donovan Mitchell emerged as a bona fide superstar in his first season with the Cavs last year. He was named second team All-NBA, and many believed he should have been first team. He finished 6th place in MVP voting. For the season, he averaged 28 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds per game, while shooting 39% from 3. It was the best season of his career, and with him turning 27 on Thursday, he's just hitting the beginning of his prime. Despite an underwhelming playoff performance against the Knicks, Mitchell has been a very good playoff performer for his career, with averages of 28 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. He's the kind of player who can lead a team to the finals, especially with the supporting cast he has in Cleveland. There are 2 great options for the second most important player on this Cavs team, but I want to talk about Mobley first. Despite many saying he didn't take the jump they expected, he was excellent in his second season. He was 3rd in Defensive Player of the Year voting at just 21 years old, and will be one of the favorites to win the award this season. A lot of the credit for Cleveland being the best defense belongs to Mobley. He wasn't elite on the offensive end, but his output wasn't that of a slouch or non-factor. For the season, he averaged 16 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1.5 blocks per game. He also shot 55% from the field. Every one of those numbers except for blocks was up from his rookie year, and I'd say that's just because people were tired of testing him. So for the critics claiming he didn't take a leap last year, did you even pay attention? For the Cavs to reach their full potential though, Mobley has to become more of a threat from the perimeter. He shot just 22% from 3, and it would go a long way if he could knock down the occasional corner 3. One player who doesn't have offensive limitations though is Darius Garland. The 23-year-old guard is an offensive dynamo and one of the league's most talented young guards. He was named an All-Star in 2022 at just 22 years old. He didn't make the game last year, but he was still incredibly impactful. He averaged 22 points, 8 assists, and 3 rebounds per game, while shooting 41% from 3. On top of being one of the game's best passers, he's also near the top when it comes to shooting. It's been an incredible development from Garland, who went from one of the worst statistical players in the entire league in his rookie season to a talent worthy of perennial All-Star appearances. However, the top-tier talent doesn't stop at those 3. They have a 4th All-Star talent in center Jarrett Allen. The Cavs are one of the rare teams to have the luxury of 4 guys this good. Allen made the All-Star team in 2022 alongside Garland and is one of the best rim protectors in the NBA. However, he was arguably the biggest disappointment in the playoff series against the Knicks. He put up just 9 points, 7 assists, and 1 block per game, hardly the production of a player you'd deem All-Star level. He was even quoted after the game saying, "Even for me, the lights were brighter than expected." But hopefully for the Cavs, he'll look more like his usual self this season. Even though he's still 25 years old, I'd say it's likely that we already know the level of player that Allen is. He's probably going to be about 15 points and 10 rebounds per game for the rest of his prime years, which is more than acceptable for a good rim-protecting 5. Then, after the big 4 contributors, we have to look at the starting 3 spot, because that could be the most pivotal thing for the team. That was the biggest limitation all of last season, and the Cavs just need a player that defenses can't leave open, so that the spacing is as good as it can be with 2 7-footers. I'd say the favorite to take over the spot is Max Strus. The team brought him in on a 4-year, $63 million deal this summer, so clearly they hope he can be the answer to their problems. He had 5 playoff series with at least 13 made threes with the Heat, and can feel absolutely unstoppable as a shooter at times. He shot 41% from 3 in 2022, but was not as good last regular season. Then the second option would likely be returnee Caris LeVert. He was quietly better than a lot of people realized last year. He averaged 12 points per game and shot 39% from 3, which is above league average. However, he still didn't really get the respect from out there that the Cavs need. He did play well in the playoffs though, with 15 points per game. Georges Niang is another guy that could slide into that role. He shot 40% from 3 with the 76ers last season and could impress if given a larger role with the Cavs. Then the long shot for the 3 spot would be rookie Emoni Bates. Despite originally being viewed as a future number 1 overall pick, the Cavs got him in the 2nd round. He was very impressive at his debut summer league and has a ton of upside, but he is still very raw as a player. In terms of lineup, the starters will likely be Garland, Mitchell, Strus, Mobley, and Allen. The second unit should be Ty Jerome, LeVert, Isaac Okoro, Niang, and Dean Wade. Guys like Bates, Isaiah Mobley, and Craig Porter Jr. could get minutes as well after their summer league performances. So what should we expect from the Cavs in 2024? On the low end, they could finish somewhere from the 5th to 8th seed in the East and make the playoffs without home court advantage. I think Cleveland is too talented to miss the playoffs altogether. On the high end, the Cavs could finish as a top 2 seed and have a real chance to make the finals as a young group. Expect at least 1 All-Star in Mitchell, but one of Mobley or Garland will have a high chance of making it as well. If they're the 1 or 2 seed at the All-Star break, they could have 3 All-Stars. The team could be the best defense in the league once again, and if their offense trends towards the top 15 or even top 10, they would become extremely dangerous. But even if they don't make the finals this season, they're set up well to make it within the next few years. The team will only get better as the core enters their primes together. Thanks for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.